good, but the storyline here is LawLiet dead or alive, Remo.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there is a slim chance that if he loses here, he can still make it through with 2 wins only. But that is fairly unlikely to begin with, and secondly, out of his hand. Not what you want to have happen as a competitor. LawLiet, known to be a monster in this matchup. We have seen him demolish countless orgs before, but Fly is the king, the numero uno, the magnum opus. He is the guy who everyone models themselves after. We talked about it a couple of times. Last year, he was the only one to be able to defeat Moon. Focus started copying him, and so did Lin, and so did everyone. And now they meet again, starting off on Concealed.
Exactly, and you know, Remo, I do love my stats here and there, right? So the stats between these two from January 2020 to now are, in series, it's 5-5. In maps, it's 12-12. It doesn't get closer than this. It's an absolute tie. Whoever wins this best of 3 gets the better stats. And if we look at these results, we had this game at DreamHack Winter in the quarterfinal, and Fly absolutely demolished him 3-0. There was also the result at WC3 in the group stage, where we were all shocked that LawLiet is even able to lose a best of 5 series against Orc with 0-3. I don't know, man. In big tournaments, it doesn't look that good for LawLiet in comparison.
Yeah, historically, that might be true, but you know, every tournament is different. Every tournament can look a little bit different from the other. We saw that with Infi before. Who would have thought that he would be doing so poorly here at the start, and Lin showing up so strong? I suppose we've seen that before. But yeah, it's an interesting comparison here as well. We saw Moon and Lin just a moment ago. How are these two going to play? How differently is it going to look? LawLiet, I think, likes a lot more archer usage early, whereas with Moon we saw a lot of huntresses, but normally tier 2 and expansion should be what is to be expected.
Yeah, that is the big difference between Moon and LawLiet in this matchup. Moon rather a tier 3 focused player, LawLiet oftentimes unwilling to go for that. So we'll see where this game takes us. The Keeper already with claws, that's nice. The Blade Master of Fly with the ring and circlet. Okay, not too bad. We have to take or pay close attention to this Blade Master, of course, in the hands of Fly. Yesterday we saw a heal potion and an invul potion on his Blade Master. I know Fly for like 16 years since he joined Mouseboards back in the days. I've never seen a Blade Master this protected by the WCG champion.
Yeah, as far as I know, he hasn't lost the Blade Master once yet, at least in the games that we saw. But very little harass here at the beginning. Fly allowed LawLiet to creep the orange, green, green before he showed up for harass. So the Keeper is already level 2.7. So he's very, very close to level 3, very much unlike what we saw earlier from Lin and Moon. And this is normally the #1 cornerstone of the early game. If the Keeper gets to level 3 quickly, very fast, the Orc will run into serious issues, and we can see LawLiet very nicely splitting up his forces. His army or his units go towards one green camp, and the Keeper goes to another green camp elsewhere on the map. And it's so hard now for Fly or for any Orc to keep up with the movement of the Night Elf.
Yeah, LawLiet has to step up his creeping game. Usually one of his strongest assets in the game, but yesterday on Twisted against 1-0 especially, he kind of had no progress with the Naga at all. That can't happen! And surrounded against the trees can't happen either, but he saves himself. Ooh, that was dicey. That could have gone wrong a little here. Gets a little bit of experience, but not the necessary level 3.
He's gonna get it now, though, as the Huntresses are left alone. The Blade Master is elsewhere. This creep, this camp will be enough, and the Keeper has enough mana for one entangle right away, by the way. Fly thinking of trying to steal the last hit with a grunt. That would be amazing. Doesn't get it though. Keeper gets the experience and the gauntlets, and with that can perhaps look to threaten a kill, but his army is not with him right now. A little bit hard to do. May want to try to go for the lodge. Oh, he goes for Treant's level 2, looking to cancel this lodge, and he will be able to do so, but no entangle level 2 means these grunts will have a much safer time.
Yeah, that is a commitment. Oh no.
He's not gonna get it? Oh, if he doesn't get it, that's horrible!
He put all the peons in 3 different burrows. That is so much damage, and he kills the trees. That's a huge save, and I don't know if he can save that. Keeper without a town portal, wind walk, critical, speed scroll, everything invested by Fly. It's not enough, but he gets in front. Sidestep by LawLiet, running for his life. Is there anything to save? I don't think so, but Fly running against the trees here as well. Is the Moonwell close enough, or will Fly be able to catch up? It's so close, but okay, takes a turn, and this Keeper survives. Whew, what an early mid-game. Wait, what?
A wonderful movement there by Fly. He was running in front with the speed scroll, but then didn't have enough move speed anymore to catch up. Stressful moment for the Keeper, but if the expansion finishes, it's all fine. Will it finish now is the question. Blademaster is trying to do some damage, but his DPS not that scary, and there is Entangle, so Fly also needs to be careful about his first hero. We keep on talking about it. He has been known to lose the blade, but for now, he will keep it alive.
Okay. Let's put some check marks in. There's an expansion, there's a second engine of war, there's upgrades. For LawLiet, it's alright, especially with the Keeper level 3, even though he needs level 4 for the level 2 Entangle now. On the other side, Shadowhunter is out with Serpent Wards, wants to pressure a little bit himself or start a big creep game. We do have the first Wyvern out, and I'm curious, will he use it to speed up his creeping, or will it be a little bit of an harass that could possibly trigger an Archer transition already, which is in the works for LawLiet, plus the Longbows upgrade as well. It's a second Wyvern. That's a pretty big commitment.
Surprised to see this one. We haven't seen Wyvern in this matchup much at all recently. We keep on coming back to that legendary game last year where Fly finally defeated Moon in the WCAA. There he did play some Wyvern with very aggressive mid-games, going for Hex and Wyvern focus, trying to take out Huntresses very quickly. But here we see the Shadowhunter creeping passively and having Serpent Wards going into 2 Windriders. I'm going to be interested to see how he makes use of them. But of course the big danger is they're going to get hard countered later on by Archers, which is already the transition that Night Elves want to go to anyways. So if you just play this passively and hold back, it seems like these Wyvern will turn into a liability.
For sure, they do help with the creeping a lot. It's so much damage, of course, you can micro well against creeps, unlike against LawLiet, so I like it to a degree. If you get 2 out of the 3 red spots, it might pay off, but Fly is having some issues with this camp here, apparently. We do have eyes on the map for LawLiet. He knows what's up. Rune Brace is a very unthankful item. It's kind of the history of this game so far. Double Claw for the Keeper. Blademaster will be a little jealous about that.
Players' forces are under attack.
Yeah, Bracers, if you want to ultra protect the blade, you can do it, but 200 gold, usually a little more worthwhile to invest into something else. Where we have the Alchemist also creeping up. He's going to get level 3 and finds the Scroll of the Beast. With Hunts and Archer Mass insanely strong. AP in the north to prevent the counter expansion. Fly coming in with the Creepjack. Tough position for LawLiet, but the Archers seem to be well protected in the back. The Windriders always getting threatened by these Archers, but the Blademaster putting on pressure on the Archers right away. So are the Grunts. Serpent Wards doing their job against the Hunts in the front line. In this kind of battle, you have to have multiple groups and focus the right target for maximum efficiency in damage output. Who's winning this fight is hard to tell. It's up in the air, but maybe Fly gets the upper hand.
Remo, what is up, man? This is a fight of Night Elf versus... Oh my god, the Zeppelin crashes, they're all combusted! Needs a lot of healing now also. Where are the Wisps, man? LawLiet is the best player usually to bring Wisp in the fight, but there was no detonate, no mana drain, no dispel against the lightning shields. That's way too much damage. He's trying for the... Ho-ho! Serpent walks around as well. Lin did it first, Fly does it next. There's no staff. Can he transfer the TP? It's close. He gets it. Critical strike on the Keeper. Is he in trouble here maybe now? Backstab with the crit. He might be dead, but doesn't get it off. Horrible, horrible fight by LawLiet. Saved a couple of units here into the safety of the AP. Still got the Expo up, but Fly, can he just finish this maybe? With the number of grunts being so low, probably not. But man, when was the last time you see LawLiet fighting an Orc without Wisps in the fight?
I think he got caught off guard in that position. Blademaster in trouble. Did keep the Rune Bracers, by the way, for now. Important LawLiet prevented the counter expansion. If Fly had a counter expo here, it would be looking very, very good for the Orc to win this game. But now Fly feels himself forced to push through the middle. Archers at the fountain trying to heal up. Quite a few units were trying to heal up. In fact, the Windriders are still alive, but now It's purely archers, against which you want to have Lightning Shield and Grunts, and probably also Mirror Image, but one Grunt goes down, second Grunt gonna fall next, and LawLiet seems to be taking control again of this game.
Pendulum swings back. Also, this time the Wisps perfectly arriving at the fight. Early detonates, drains the mana, and then they were even there for the repair, so he keeps a second production building up and can continue to mass archers to rebuild as he lost a little bit. But maybe after the fight, LawLiet felt confident with his AP scouting in the upper left. He knew there's no expansion behind this. There's not even a chance for an expansion behind this. So even though I lose the fight and I lose a couple of units, as long as my heroes are alive and can't kill me, I have the time and I have the resources to rebuild, and that's exactly what LawLiet is doing right now, while Fly has to move back all the way to the north, can't really creep too much. There's nothing left in the upper side of the map for him to creep, and LawLiet takes advantage of that and goes for the right-hand side, where there's still the lab and still the fountain.
You mentioned the resources. Fly had a ton of gold just a moment ago. He had like 900. Now he queued the Expo and I believe something else. So LawLiet is still not looking that scary yet. This Keeper mass strategy can be very powerful and dangerous, but it needs numbers in supply, upgrades and scrolls. At the moment, what does LawLiet have? He has one heal scroll, one scroll of the beast. That is pretty damn good. And he's going to have 2-1 upgrades. So those are also looking very strong. But the numbers aren't there yet. He's waiting for more supply. He's waiting for more Moonwell capacity. And Fly wants to force a fight again before those high numbers are reached.
2 Moonwells are about to finish. He has 450 gold. Once again, the Treants, they didn't pay off when he wanted to go for the Lodge. Is it time for them now? Blade Master staffing back. It's so close. Oh, it's so close! One more! Stutter step! He tries to, but the crit after backstab. Blade Master once again with a level 2 critical strike. We fight in the middle. The Shadow Hunter without his buddy, the Blade Master. Is the necessary damage even there? I'm not too sure. Overlord helps out a little with the Shockwave. It's like a mini TC on the side of Fly now. And he turns the hero focus around. Lots of healing to the Alchemist, who is kind of squishy against physical damage. Turns it up to the Keeper now, who has pretty much nothing anymore except this heal spray. Purge again. He's trying to slow the movement. Oh, it's so close. The Ensnare flies and the Keeper of the Grove goes down. Shadow Hunter survives in the north, goes up to level 4, has more mana, can go for another heal wave. And that is another wonderful fight for Fly.
Blade Master on the chase still. Tavern Revive, very expensive, and it was so important to keep position here in the middle, because the winner of that fight, whoever forced the opponent back, will get the red camp and the biggest item on the map. And Fly, despite having the expansion cancelled once and almost a second time, never loses his confidence and is always willing to go for that fight. And LawLiet may be a little too overeager to engage into a battle like that without his high supply, but how can we blame him as well? He knew the Blade Master was elsewhere for quite some time and he wanted to contest the red, but Fly, with a wonderful response, will not be deterred and will get this item in the end. And the Cloak of Flames for the Blade Master, and that is amazing against archers.
After the fight, did you look at the player cam of LawLiet shaking his head, talking a little bit? Kind of unusual to see here. Looks a little frustrated as both of the big fights went to the Chinese. What's his way out now? He was able to rebuild once. Entangle level 2 right around the corner. But how impactful is that now that we have so much Purge? We have the new best friend of the Night Elves. It's a Sapper coming in.
It's only one though. There's no way this is enough. There's 6 peons here for repair. That's not gonna work. LawLiet realizes, okay, I can't get the Great Hall. At least I'm gonna take out your tower. But I certainly hope he has a TP to get out of here. Okay, he does, because yeah, 2 hunts, 3 archers, not gonna cut it.
Yeah, he kind of opens the floodgates for more sappers and for more attacks now that the tower is gone. But Fly just puts down a tower once again, and he's also floating in gold. He was up at 700, 800, now breaking into upkeep. He should be filthy rich in a second again, now that the second base is up. LawLiet, behind all of this, behind the fight and behind this Expo push, is teching. 2/3 to tier 3, and we all know MG equals GG, but that's a long way until then.
Yeah. Would be weird to transition into lores also, sort of, with him heavily investing into archers. Just getting marksmanship, 3rd hero, and Orb of Venom is oftentimes enough to have big enough of an advantage to finish off the game. But again, Fly, not willing to give LawLiet the time where he feels confident Fly is going to strike before and it seems like he needs to do big damage because there's no tier 3 of any kind on the horizon for the Orc.
The Wisps getting almost sniped. Really hard to get them into fighting position now. Blade Master level 5, level 3 critical strike, 192. Say bye-bye to these archers once the blade is in the back, but Acid Bomb is doing good damage to the front line. How long can these Hunts stay in? These Wyvern turn out to be absolutely amazing. They're here until the mid-game with the Blade Master and Focus Fire. Now that's an Invo Potion, uses it, and there's so much mana for the Shadow Hunter. The Blade Master and the Wyvern, they're just out damaging this heal spray. Lightning Shield once more. LawLiet takes a grunt on the way out, but also loses a Huntress here. Supply-wise, it's tied, but Fly is at a 1,000 gold bank.
Yeah, but LawLiet's about to hit tier 3. We see the third attack upgrade starting, marksmanship as well, and he has the Orb of Venom. This is massive upgrades for the Night Elf, and a Podum could soon be added in as well, but LawLiet wants to save a little bit more gold while he can. Right now, or at least in a moment when these upgrades are finished, LawLiet's army is extremely cost efficient. For Fly, being stuck on tier 2, it's gonna be a little bit harder. On tier 3, there could be great upgrades for Fly. Bloodlust is, you know, I love Bloodlust, but honestly, it's not that amazing compared to some other tier 3 buffs, but especially Torrents could be the way to deal with these archers and hunts, but that is a tech tree super far away that Fly never seems to want to go for anymore. In the past, last year and also 2019, we saw quite a few orcs trying it with tier 3, but Fly usually always stays on tier 2 in this matchup, and that will be the case here as well. So it seems like the longer this goes, the better it's going to be looking for LawLiet with his tier 3 upgrades.
Yeah, of course we know that in 2020 these two were practice partners for many tournaments. They know each other inside out, and maybe you need something unusual, maybe you need a tier 3 tech on Fly's side to surprise his opponent. But first of all, he's going for the base. For that tier 3 base, the Podum will not see the light of day as the Raiders and Grunts are punishing this altar quite a bit. No pillage here. How is the fight going? This is still not peak Night Elf. We do have an Orb now, we do have marksmanship now, and the third attack upgrade, but no Podum to help things out, and the Blade Masters is going on a rampage, getting a triple kill right away. Wonderful lightning shields as well. It's a thunderstorm on Concealed Hill.
Great attack by Fly. He needs to launch this assault and probably win the game right here. Otherwise, he's going to lose to the higher tech. Can he close out the game where he needs to? Blade Master in the back, going for the Alchemist. That guy is tanky, though, with the heal spray, healing himself up a little bit more. LawLiet with great top positioning has that in the back to secure a good foothold in his base. Would have loved to see a shop as well by Fly. He could have brought a peon, he could have had a Voodoo Lounge in the back behind this push, but didn't do that. Fly goes over to another shop, to the merchant. He can go for the healed scrolls there. He still has those two from the beginning, by the way, and is going to go for a safety TP. All right, he swerves over towards the expansion. He's going to look what damage he can do there, and there's no shop there. There's no Moonwells there. This Tree of Life is just totally exposed.
There's absolutely nothing. Fly scanned before, has some vision to the left-hand side. That's smart. LawLiet, I don't think he can hold on to this. Do we have Nature's Blessing? We do this time. He's willing to engage, but he is 20 supply down. He's probably only going for the town portal, trying to, but the archers are in a good position now. Heal Wave is there, level 5 on the Shadow Hunter, of course, massive with the Serpent Wards now, 50 average damage, but Fly is about to lose 2 units. I don't think there's any repair anymore. Oh, look at this physical damage against the Alchemist. Absolutely magnificent, but so far, this Expo is holding. Fly is splitting his army. A part of it is fighting, a part of it is attacking the tree, and he gets it. So it's a 2-base, 1-base advantage for the Orc now. LawLiet is still 20 pop down. The Keeper is in trouble. He has nothing to save himself anymore. There's also no staff. The tournament life of LawLiet on the line here, as he is 0-2 in the group already. Blade Master, is he able to clean this archer line? So far, so good. And now, what can you possibly do, Remo?
Hardly anything anymore. LawLiet is going to try to transition, it seems like, with lures. One thing that is insanely good against tier 2 Orc is Mountain Giants. Well, Mountain Giants are just extremely good against anything that Orc can do, really. But is that enough still? It seems like with that base going down, LawLiet hardly has any chance at all in this game. And this is credit to Fly once again. You know, there's so much pressure on Fly right there to do big damage, game-winning damage with that attack. Like we saw earlier for Lin, when he attacked before the Mountain Giants, Fly attacked before the Podum was out, before the second Orb was out, before the Aura came into play, and LawLiet got 70, maybe 80 supply. Fly knows exactly when he needs to be aggressive, when to expand. He is a master of this matchup and is very, very likely gonna take this series with a 1-0 lead.
Okay, main bases are about to mine out. Then the Tree of Eternity can walk over, maybe to the middle, maybe to the right-hand side again, but will Fly allow that? He kills the next Moonwell, that means production will stop. We have one bear for Roar. He can't even use Reju yet. Now he can, surrounded the Keeper of the Grove, and I think that is lights out for LawLiet. There's a staff for a little bit. Blade Master is dropping. Mana on the Shadow Hunter looking kind of okay. Level 6, will we celebrate this map and end this with a Blade Storm? We absolutely will, and that shreds everything! Multi-kill, and the double Gs for sure after this saves the Blade Master with the mirror image. Town portals out without taking too much damage. A flawless execution by Fly, taking map number 1. Looking really good for the playoffs for him now, and LawLiet continues to struggle.
Yeah, Fly lost one game so far in his group, but here in his prime matchup versus Night Elf, again, he looks extremely dominant. Wonderful performance by Fly. You know, I always love seeing Tier 3, seeing the flashy upgrades, seeing Triple Hero, seeing Torrent, seeing Bloodlust. I love that stuff, but Fly, he's always playing it on the edge. He's spending all of his money perfectly where he needs for the right army composition, for the right items. Of course, I'm talking about heal scrolls and invols and so on, and he always takes the fights where he needs to. And even for us as observers, it's sometimes hard to tell where the best point of attack and timing for that would be, but Fly, he has it so ingrained in his being. It is wonderful to see how well he understands this matchup and how he can push the envelope and push his advantage when he has to win that game. Again, I mentioned it twice and I will mention it again. If he doesn't do game-winning damage right there before the bottom comes out, he's probably going to lose that game. But he realized what he has to do and he executes it like the world champion that he is.
Yeah, very thin line that he was walking on in LawLiet. This is not the smiling, jolly troll that we know from so many tournaments and so many post-game interviews. This, yeah, he looks thoughtful. He looks a little frustrated once again. Yeah, we see it. That didn't go too well. But LawLiet, I got a little bit of hope for you. Concealed Hill statistically Fly's best map in this matchup. And now we move on to map number 2. It's Northern Isles.
Gonna be a very different game, no staff play probably gonna be so effective because there's only one staff on this map and should be going to the Night Elf normally. Perhaps also an easier expansion and lots of run-by attempts possible on Northern Isles. We've seen that time and time again from Night Elves in the past with a big Huntress composition. We saw more archers there. LawLiet was trying to bank on the strong army for the late game big fight, but Fly didn't give him that opportunity. And I think Carson put it pretty nicely earlier. If you want to try to get too cheeky against Fly, he's gonna kill you. You have to be on your heels and be ready to defend an attack if Fly is bringing it to you, because there's always that danger that Fly is just gonna flick the switch and is gonna run over and try to murder you. You have to be ready for exactly this. Many other orcs, you can't get away with a little bit too much greed against Fly. You cannot. And I have to wonder, LawLiet, did he maybe underestimate his group? Did he maybe underestimate his opponent so far? Because he stated, to my surprise, that he feels Focus is probably his strongest opponent in group. I don't know, maybe he was wrong.
Yeah, we haven't seen Fly at all this year in solo tournaments, so very hard to predict in what shape he is. Oh, LawLiet talking a lot, bopping a little. I'm not too sure. There is, again, just like yesterday, flaws in his game. I wonder how this game goes if he's not forgetting about the wisps at the lab, or if he never pulled them. The fight went on for like 10-15 seconds. Usually he always has the wisp there. He didn't. And again, we have to mention this. Fly keeping Rune Bracers on a Blade Master against level 1 and Tangle. That's as careful as you can be with a Blade Master in the hands of Fly.
Yeah, it's also a question of how much do you need the gold. I guess he didn't need it so much. He always had a really healthy bank, great resource management by him. And
come on, don't ruin my point.
Took that first game wonderfully. Also, one thing to keep in mind, the Wind Riders were wonderful to go for heavy creeping on the red camps. Those Wyvern, I took a look at the timer, stayed alive for 19 minutes. against an archer army. That is ridiculous. Fly really with a wonderful, wonderful game. LawLiet might be time now to go into something else on Northern Isles. You know, you don't have to play Keeper Hunts Expo anymore so much. Last year, that was the only strategy that seemed to be viable. But nowadays, we see Mountain Giants, we see Dryads, we see Talons. Is it maybe time to adjust, to shift into a different gear? Because Fly, man, against the standard, he just looks deadly.
Yeah, looks like LawLiet got some music on. Ba, 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 ba. We move into map number 2. Tournament live on the line for LawLiet. You can't go 0-3 at the DreamHack Regional Finals. Then you're very, very likely out, especially with the weak map score like this. LawLiet has only won 1 map in this entire tournament so far, and that was against Fortitude. Oh boy, this is gonna be a tough one, but all the Orc fans, they have a very good day so far, right? They have Focus still in the race, they got a super strong Lin, and Fly in tip-top shape as well.
Absolutely. The Horde is showing up strong. LawLiet, first place in Chinese New Year Cup, first place in Zelos Red. What happened? He looked so strong there. His shape perhaps dipping a little bit at the worst time imaginable. But so far we can't really put it too much on LawLiet, I think. Yeah, the Wisps, you pointed that out, that certainly was a mistake, but Fly also played it out of his mind. Let's see, Northern Isles, what we have to offer. It's going to be a Blade versus Keeper, so it's going to be the standard build. There's a lot of farce here, being fashionable nowadays, but Fly wants to have nothing to do with that nonsense.
Okay, no, not at all. Blade Master in his hands is a weapon, and we see LawLiet with a very early Huntress open.
Once you get those hunts out early, if you get like 2 to 3, maybe 4 hunts, there's a lot of camps you can viably creep on Northern Isles without them a lot harder. Interesting opening by Fly. So he goes for the barracks plus shop build, having a little bit less gold income, going for more lumber, and he's going for the Murloc first, and then speed scroll across the map to try to prevent further creeping on the Keeper. Very interesting. Wants to cover 2 camps, the 2 greens outside the main, and wants to prevent level 2 on that Keeper. Last hit. I'm not sure who got it, actually.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, super new approach by Fly. We rarely see this at all. And again, the early game seemingly goes to the Chinese. But okay, that was just the very first encounter. Trying to block here, taking a little bit of time, delays the arrival of the Keeper for a split second, while we see the tech and Ultra Vision and the tier 2 tech for Fly as well.
Under attack.
Wand of Illusion, wonderful here. Again, it's all about scouting, a lot about slowing down the Keeper, not allowing level 3. And Northern Isles, despite it being a somewhat big map, only 1 shop. At 1900 hours, the wand, the Staff of Teleportation becomes available, and LawLiet is not prioritizing it too much. It is the Blade going over there, and most likely buying that staff. Usually, it's the favorite item for many Night Elves out there, especially Foggy, but look at this. The Blade gets it, and the Circlet, and right off the bat, it seems like LawLiet has a tough game, not even allowed the level 2.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a slow start. This is also no entangle. The Blade Master can do whatever he wants. Blade Master is so mobile now with Wind Walk, a potential speed scroll, and the step. There's level 2, finally. And that is entangle, but I doubt that the damage is enough to kill this grunt. Northern Isles Fly's weakest map in this matchup, but it's also not looking too good for LawLiet. Around 60%, that's like average, I would say. But maybe counter-picking his opponent instead, going for what's really good for him.
Blade Master gonna get close to level 2 here as well. Would love to find some more items. Oh! Huntress last hit!
Yep.
Nicely done! Experience denied to the Blade. Still, the mantle that he finds later on for the Shadowhunter gonna be nice, which is gonna be coming up very soon, by the way. Of course, LawLiet with the early Huntress build. Oh, Blade Master. The staff, he's fine. With the early Huntress build, his tech is a little bit later, so his second hero he'll be able to hire later, but of course it's gonna be an Alchemist from the Tavern, so that one is still gonna be nicely in time.
Okay, is level 2.4 enough for LawLiet without an expansion? Look at the Peon Scout, man. Everybody hates these barricades, but I think this Peon is very fine with it. We'll probably see the Scout soon. But yeah, this is getting the Keeper very close to level 3 and then level 2 and Tangle can reign. That was missing throughout the entirety of Concealed Hill. So I wonder how well Fly is able to keep his Grunts and Blade Master alive once he faces that level 2 spell.
Yeah, and Fly for the first time wasting time. He ran across the map going to the Tuskars and found, well, there was nothing there. Perhaps forgetting about his Peon? I'm not sure. But anyways, the Keeper is now level 3 and that changes a lot. Now finally the Night Elf has full map control and can do a lot with that strong Keeper and the Panda second.
Okay, no.
Have we seen that before?
I don't think so.
Usually in the late game, Night Elves desperately need that heal spray to keep their Hunts alive and archers. But now he's going full damage instead of healing. I mean, that must appeal to you.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, I love my Drunken Haze, right? The miss chance, especially on the Blade Master, not too bad. Healthstone for the Panda also okay. Saves him some Moonwells, and both players are putting heavy emphasis on shutting these second bases down or not even letting their opponents try it. For Fly, this is a later double barrack, double bestiary.
Yeah, he saw the lures. He wants to go into mass raiders to hunt down these dryads very quickly. Against MGs, it might be tough, but we're at the moment far away from that. LawLiet again tries with the cancel, again insufficient.
Yeah.
The Burrow's always in place, the army always close by. Fly doing a great job keeping his tech intact, but also if he doesn't get the cancel, at least he gets the Panda up to creep more, who's close to level 3, but the Blade Master as well gets the cancel of the expansion. So you can see both players using their entire arsenal perfectly for full efficiency.
Yeah, this is also not only that the Panda is growing, this is also the Shadow Hunter being experience denied, and there's not too much left. Speed Scroll and Tangle, can he get this around? No, nothing really. Like these clutch moments, they rarely seem to be working for LawLiet. On a very good day, probably gets that surround, kills the hero, but no. Needs some repair here now. Trying to slow down this Blade Master. Repair isn't. LawLiet is in time, and now he got the 3-3 heroes.
Yeah. This Blade Master is like his CIA operative. He's deep behind enemy lines and trying to sabotage the enemy. And he did so very effectively. He cancelled the lore, he cancelled the expansion. Couldn't cancel the Moonwell, but this is certainly annoying LawLiet. But of course he doesn't want to bring his whole army back to deal with this one Blade Master. But now he's actually doing it. This Blade Master has been annoying enough that the entire Night Elf army is walking back just to force the staff.
Yeah, I mean, he can heal up, he can get a staff for himself, he can go for the Tuskars. There's still stuff to do, I think. On the other side, Potion of Greater Mana. Oh, what a lovely gift from the Ogre Magi.
I love the composure by Fly as well. He's getting pressured heavily. Camps are getting stolen away. The Shadow Hunter is struggling with experience, but he's just like, no, I know this is the most effective thing I can do with my blade. At some point, you're gonna fall back. At some point, I can continue to creep, and then I'm gonna get my levels on the Shadow Hunter. And if I get level 2 Serpent Ward plus and Snare, your Dryads are gonna have a tough time.
Okay, Creepjack now, it's daytime. This will probably be seen, and the Shaman are in a very bad spot. The Dryads are attacking with the extra piercing damage. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, burn! LawLiet is inviting us all to a barbecue, and these Raiders are also at 50% already. Might have to pop the big heal. Postman, maybe it's not even enough. Maybe the damage is just too crazy for LawLiet. Next Breath of Fire coming in. A couple of Hunters are going down. Okay, triple kill for Fly. Is he able to turn this around once the Panda is out of mana? We'll see about that. The Dryads have to be a little more careful. They were in range of the Raiders, but the Raiders are now all extinct.
Big potion also used on the Panda. The Health Stone it was. That big mana potion, is that enough to turn this engagement around? It still looks very good for LawLiet. Wonderful fight for the Night Elf, and this might be the time for tier 3 tech or an expansion. We see the expansion coming up now, and it doesn't seem like Fly is going to be able to get the cancel on this one. Beautiful timing by LawLiet, finding the Creepjack just a little bit before Fly was ready to take a fight, before he had fully healed up, and before he did have a heal scroll. One heal scroll could have totally turned this around, but LawLiet finally finds the opening to take a good lead in this mid game.
Yeah, maybe that is the one moment he needs, you know? Give me one moment in time. Maybe that is giving him some confidence. He's gonna be jacked here soon. It's 4 Raiders at the moment. Some Engineers will be flying. Panda in a little bit of trouble. Has to go for the heal scroll. How's the mana situation? Bad. Real bad for LawLiet. Can't really go for Drunken Haze. Can't really go for Breath of Fire. Can't really go for an Entangle. And now has to run away against Engineer. It's oftentimes one free kill or two. And just like that, Fly is kind of back.
He's not making any Shaman anymore. He doesn't care about Dispel. It's purely Raiders. And Pillage starting now as the Orc arrives, the enemy main base. That's a classic. He's gonna perhaps take out this shop. Lots of repair by LawLiet, but the shop just doesn't have enough HP, so that one is going to be taken out. Awkward position now, though, by Fly. He doesn't have a TP to get out. He does have that speed scroll, which, however, can be dispelled. Good Snake Pit already. Serpent Ward's getting focused now, but that means the Raiders can lay in the damage. Panda also dropping low with a heal scroll and a Moonwell. He's fine again, but so many ensnares, and the Dryads dying quickly.
The fight is pretty excellent by Fly for an awkward position like that. You mentioned it. The Ensnares are flying, 3 Raiders are attacking, plus if you're lucky the Blade Master and Serpent Wards, and that's almost a guaranteed kill for 1 or 2 or 3 Dryads, as we saw here. Fly is taking the lead in supply, but the Panda, he must be the weapon now. He has to justify his pick over the Alchemist. So far, Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire look good, but for how much longer? Because mana is getting rare.
And stay on the Panda again, focus fire onto him. There's a TP, might be forced into it in a second. There's quite a few ensnares, but maybe not enough. Level 4 Panda gonna TP out to the expansion, I believe, where he cannot heal.
Maybe there's a shop, then he can go for a potion, but I'm not too sure about that. Fly continues his raid of this main base, and he had Pillage prior to this push into the base. So not only is he doing damage, he's also getting a good chunk of resources that allows him to go for more Raiders, and that allows him to do more damage, and that is even more money. What an upward spiral this is.
A wild, scrappy game. Who's playing here? Is this Fly or is this Razorman? Just pure Raiders going for hero kills, going for the base, going for the tree. Wait a minute. Does he have damage to take out this Tree of Ages? Not necessarily. Snake Pit still kind of zoning away the Knight of Army. The Panda in trouble, nothing to save him anymore. A critical strike would be the end, but even without it, the Snakes are doing it. Panda is dead, Shadow's level 4, and that's level 2 heal wave. And this is looking like a 2-0 quite a bit now.
Yeah, that looks like the tournament elimination for LawLiet. Fly. The Orcs in general, all in splendid shape here at DreamHack. The Keeper is about to fall as well. Maybe a Raider is dropping, but that's about it. There's nothing to get out under the net, under the knife, and under the ground.
With the mass Raiders and just go, go, go. Usually this style is considered weak and outdated, but Fly makes it work with unconventional strategies at times. Whether it's standard or unusual, he always knows what he has to do. So impressive. Fly against Night Elf is absolutely killer. LawLiet wants to go for Terror Revive, doesn't have the gold. He's supply blocked because he lost the Moonwells.
Oh, no.
And that seems like this Tree of Ages is going to be next. With 2 grunts, 4 Raiders. I don't think these Wisps will keep it alive.
Now the Moonwell finishes. Now he can get 1 hero back, and he decides to go for the Panda. Now he's supply blocked again. Now he's back down to 1 base. Of course, he knows that his day 1 was horrible, and he needs to perform today. He needs the results today to stay in the race for the playoffs. I think in the latter game, in the not important tournament game, LawLiet would have GG'd out already, but here it's just desperation at this point. How much can a level 4 Panda carry?
With full mana, I would say, well, perhaps decent amount, but then again, we have the Shadow Hunter with Heal Wave against it. There's some Moonwells here. LawLiet still fighting. Doesn't have the Keeper back yet. TP and Heal Scroll from the Blade Master. Again, Fly with a bit of safety. Wonderful combo coming in, Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, but there was the heal scroll against it. There's going to be heal wave in a second, and when these Dryads are under the net, they're just dead.
Yeah, I can't move out of range of these Raiders. Trying to get the multi-kills on the Raiders, but Fly's micro seems to be on point. Yes, 1 or 2 are dropping now into the safety of the Moonwolves, but they're dry and nighttime is about to be over, and so is the life of LawLiet. Oh my god, he walks into the surround himself, and that is Fly with another 2-0. Super strong.